Hello, everybody. This is Connie, and it's Wednesday afternoon. And I'm live, and wow, does it feel like Wednesday afternoon to you? Because it really does not feel like a Wednesday to me. I'm just getting my camera lined up here. And that's Moose in the background growling, doing his thing. Okay, so I have the coolest idea for a scrapbook page today, and we'll see how it works out. But at first, I just have a few minutes of updates for you. I have my coffee. It's kind of chilly out today, rainy, dreary, wacky Wednesday weather. I'm telling you, it's weird. Anyway, I am thrilled to announce the catalog is finally going to be coming up live soon, May 6th, coming up. And on May 6th, also going live, for those of you who have messaged me and been underwhelmed by what they see in the catalog, I want to make a couple of comments. First, if you're not too thrilled with the catalog, just remember, and I mean this in the kindest way, but Stampin' Up! Is not great at showcasing their products. Their products are hidden sometimes. They stack photos so you don't get to see all the papers. And so there are tons of videos of demonstrators on YouTube and even me who like to show you the actual product because the catalog doesn't showcase things very well. The other thing to remember is there are a lot of people who were like kind of freaking out with the amount of scrapbooking art and scrapbooking products in this catalog. And you have to remember that Stampin' Up! Just spent boat tons of money and time trying to pull in the close to my heart scrapbooking family, if you will. And so they needed to spend some time, effort, and catalog space on the scrapbooking, or they were going to lose all of us scrapbookers as customers. And so it was important for them to do that. I don't think every catalog will be this way. And I think there's tons of card making and paper crafting things in here for people who are not big scrapbookers. And just like the scrapbookers look at everything and try to figure out how to make it into a scrapbook page, you know that card makers are looking at the scrapbooking stuff, trying to figure out how to make it into cool cards. Hi, everybody. Hi, Stephanie, Nancy, Heather. Great to see you all. Thank you for joining me, and I'm happy that you're here. And I can't wait to show you this scrapbook layout I have for today. Okay, the other thing I want to tell you is online exclusives are a thing. They're just a thing. And basically what that means is every couple of months, every other month, they come out with a whole bunch of new products. No, they're not in the annual catalog. The annual catalog stuff will be good for the whole year. These online exclusives come and go. And oh my gosh, they're awesome. Like that popcorn set I showed you, that's part of the online exclusives. There's all kinds of stuff that people have been starting to use that are only online. And so if you don't shop online, you're missing out on, I think, some of the best parts of what Stampin' Up! Offers. And it allows them to bring in and take out new products all the time and keep it changing so that, you know, if you're not happy with this, you're happy with that. You know, you just keep moving. They are making some changes to the website within the next week or so, where no longer will there be a separate category under the menu for the new stuff, the online exclusives, and the kits. They're going to consolidate that all together, you know, under like the new stuff or whatever. And so that way you'll get to see it all without having to remember to click on the different places. That helps. So there's that. Also, they're adding a box that says get notified when products are back in stock. So if something is sold out and you've been watching for it, and you're tired of messaging me going, when does this come in? When does this come in? And I don't mind you doing that ever. I wish they made that available to customers actually, but it helps me to look those things up sometimes too. But they're going to have an email thing where you can type that in and be updated when the product you have been waiting for comes back in stock. Big bonus. Okay, and then 2 other things. National Scrapbook Day is coming up. And this weekend, basically, a lot of National Scrapbooking Weekend things are happening. And May 3rd, Stampin' Up! Is going to do an online workshop kit, like a kit together. Like you can do it with them, or you can just watch. But please participate, please watch, please pop in if you can, even just for a minute, because the more people who watch, the more likely they are to continue doing these public workshop kit videos. And we all know those were so incredibly popular when Close to My Heart did them. They were some of the most watched videos ever. And I'm telling you, it's really nice to be able to work along with someone when you work on those workshops. I totally understand that. And as a demonstrator, I have a tendency to take that workshop and I tweak it instead of showing it step by step the way it's made. And I think that it's a missing part of the scrapbooking world right now, is that it is really helpful to see that workshop made from start to finish, unchanged from the instructions. So that will be at 2 p.m. Central on their Facebook, Stampin' Up! Facebook group. And then they are adding double rewards on the 2nd and 3rd of May. Double rewards. So you were getting 10%. Now you'll get 20% of credit, reward credit for your purchases over $20 on the 2nd and 3rd. That is very similar to the free shipping thing they just did, where you got, basically free shipping plus your reward. Now you're just getting it all as a future credit. It's a great bonus for Scrapbook Day. And finally, for those of you who are looking to sign up, I just wanted to let you know, I promised people I would let you know when there's a starting up special. May 6th through the 31st, so the month of May, essentially. For $99, you get the kit, and then you get $165 worth of product. So that's $66 bonus product. You get free shipping and a free paper pumpkin kit. So it's a nice startup bonus, because you get $165 worth of product and free shipping if you were thinking of signing up. And it's nice to have those specials. Okay. Woo. All right. That's not bad. 7 minutes. That's not terrible. I was really seriously going, my gosh. I'm going to talk for hours on specials. Okay. So this right here is a card. It's a photo of a card that a lady named Lynn Brinker from Peoria, Illinois, made for the Peoria event swap. Now, we ran around, Karen and I went together, and we ran around doing our swap cards, and I got totally different cards than her. We did get, of course we got some that were similar or the same, but I did not get this card. And in the car on the way home, she was showing me her cards, and this one right here, it caught my eye. It made me excited. I was like, oh my gosh, what is it about this card that's so special? Hold on a sec. I'm going to try to fix my shadows a little bit, because you can see my shadow in here. All right. So basically, it's a very simple card. It's a white card base with circles, And what makes it so unique and special, which is hard to see in the photo, is that she used this dotted circle 3D embossing folder. This is one of those giant, 6 by 8.5 folders. And it is super cool because it's very dimensional. And what she did was she cut a whole bunch of circles in different shapes or in different sizes. And then she laid those circles out onto the folder and ran it through her machine. So if you just lay the circles out all over this and then run it through, and then you end up with your circles having polka dots, right? I hope you can see that okay. It's such a cool effect. Sorry for all the glares. And then I think the color combination caught my eye. She used, basically she used a variety of like rainbow colors, right? She used a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and instead of purple, she did this peacock color that was very bold. And I thought, wow, this is very striking. It really caught my eye. So I want to do my own version of it. I talked to her online. I sent her a message and I told her how much I love this card. And it really is my favorite card of all the swaps. I wish I would have gotten one. She offered to send me one. She was so excited that I contacted her and I'm like, no, I could recreate it. I could. I just was so thrilled to get inspiration from it. So here's what I did. I kind of laid out my version of like a blue, all the colors she did, like an orange, a red, a green, a blue, and a purple. So this is kind of what I did. Now, okay, let me test my knowledge here. I'm learning my colors still, and it's very hard, okay? Daffodil Delight, Melon Mambo, Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, Timid Tiger. This is one of the new colors, the Timid Tiger. And this color right here is Summer Splash. So these are the ones that I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to use. So I punched out I die cut a whole bunch of circles and I made them into, I kind of ran them through the machine. I have all these circles in different colors. And now you can really see the dimension on them. A hint, if you're using the 3D embossing folders, especially, sometimes it really helps to take like a mister of water and real lightly across your cardstock before you run it through your machine. It just helps your paper fibers stretch with those 3D embossing folders. Anyway, I also had trouble choosing colors because I wasn't sure about the brightness. I thought about going with a more of a 70s vibe. And look at the difference in this color scheme when I changed this to the crushed curry. I think crushed curry may be one of my favorite colors in my discovery of colors, right? I really love how it looks with these. It changes the whole effect. It makes it very 70s vibe, doesn't it? Look at that. Cool. But I even thought about using a two-tone of each color because there's enough colors in like a two-tone where you could do something like that. All right, anyway, put that aside. I cut strips. I cut little 1/4-inch strips of each color so I could play with that. I cut the circles. I even used my paper punch inside of some of the circles to make these shapes, which I thought might, add to the funky kind of look. You know what I mean? Like it just adds to that funky vibe that I was kind of going for. But I'll show you what I ended up. I decided to make my pages with a white background. That way the colors will show, just like her card has a white background. Now I have this set of photos where we're all making goofy faces. I never know what to do with those. This is an oldie. This is from when Jen graduated, so it's an oldie. And then I have like, you know, just goofy, random photos of us making strange faces. And I just thought it would be really kind of fun to put them across the page. I printed these like 3x4 with a border. And this is kind of my thought. I'm going to have the papers marching, or the photos marching across, and then have this as like my main photo. I could have picked another picture that had all of us in it, but we weren't making goofy faces, and I wanted the goofy face thing. So I want the polka dots and I want the strips. So I went ahead and cut the strips, and I wanted them to have a little bit of that 70s vibe that is from like my childhood. And so I kind of like the idea of doing a stripe like this. Gosh, I just love the look of these stripes going across like that. Now, the Timid Tiger, the only size I had was 8.5 by 11, so I'm like an inch short. Of course I am. So I'm going to just put a little dot of glue on there, and I'm going to overlap these. And then I'll let that dry for a sec, and then I'll have a 12-inch piece. I don't think it'll be that noticeable. It may be, but I don't care. All right, so that's that. And then on this side, I want all the polka dots over here going around this main photo, but I needed something to bring these stripes across. Now, I could have just continued them, but then I got out these arch dies. You know, they're pretty cool. Layering dies. And you know, one thing that's cool about a layering die is you can just cut out the whole, you know, arch as one, like, you know, cut it out like this. Or you can layer them and cut out like the inside outside, and then make one smaller, the inside outside, inside out. And I just did that. I just did multiple layers of arches in the different colors. And my thought is to make these continue across the page. Like I'll chop off the bottoms. I haven't actually played with this, so I don't know how well it's going to work. But anyway, you get my drift, right? It's going to kind of go zip, and it's going to curl up into my photo right here. That's my plan. And then we'll play with the polka dots. So let's get this page at least put in place. I think first things first, I will put my photos down. I seriously considered adding black to this somehow. I have no rhyme or reason to why I'm putting these where I am. I'm going to go approximately here. Okay, let me see where that's at. That is 3 1/4 inches up from the bottom of the page. I'm overlapping just a smidgen right here. There. Ta-da. That's what I'm doing. All right. So when I cut my arches, you can see they're different sizes. I just need to get them in order of the biggest to smallest. So I did the Lost Lagoon, the Daffodil Delight, and then the Timid Tiger, and then the Melon Mambo. So I did these 4, and that's the order. I need to put them on here so that they will kind of line up with my arches. So first things first, I'm gonna put glue along the bottom and do my pink. Now I want a little tiny sliver of white between each stripe. The problem is there won't be that in these. These will be touching. So I'm not sure the sliver of white will work. I'll just have them touch. They're not exactly the same size anyway. I would have had to make my, oh, the wrong one, my orange. I would have had to have made my color strips a little smaller than 1/4 inch to make them really groove into my arches, if that makes sense. Like if I would have had to make them the same width as this to make it really look, you know, slick or whatever. But I think this will work. I hope this works. I just have this idea in my head. I haven't actually, you know, put it together. So the other thing that I tend to do is I tend to want to fill white space, like really fill white space. And I'm trying hard not to do that so that there's more white space on here than normal. And so that does make it a little tricky for me. Like I want to put ink up here and splatters, and I want to do things that make this, you know, more. But I'm just gonna scoot that over a little bit, and then I'm going to work on this page. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is figure out where this is gonna go. I don't wanna glue it down yet because I need to do my arches. So let's see. So the biggest arch is going to be this one. And I'm gonna just trim this little bottom off here. And it's gonna go under my photo, so I don't even need this part either. I really just want to put this down. I'm gonna put a little glue on here. Ugh. Let's try to make it as messy as possible. I really should use my tweezer. It would just make life better. All right, so I'm gonna put this down and just let it kind of fall into place. And it's on that Lost Lagoon. Ta-da. Okay, let's get this piece ready. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna trim this bottom off. It's not gonna show hardly at all at the top. So I'm going to cut that off, and I just have this piece. Now I can put the glue on my page, right? And just nest it in there. I say that like it's so easy. Look at me struggling with that. Okay. And then I have that. Put my weight on it. The next color I have is the Timid Tiger, and the same thing. I'm going to trim the bottom, and I'm going to cut the top, and just put a little glue down. Liquid glue is so amazing for this, you guys. I obviously could do this with a runner or something, but look at that. It doesn't want to nest at the top. It's going to have white. Oh, I could have totally put white stripes in between these. I should have done that first. Okay. Push. And then we have the pink. And I'm going to put that down. All right. Yeah, I like how that looks. Like that. All right. Now, I'm a little hitchy on this end. I'm just going to put that in my trimmer. My trimmer's off camera just a smidge. So, but I'm just going to trim that even down the side. And it cuts, you know, like maybe an 1/8 of an inch off. Maybe a sliver. It cuts a sliver off just to make it even. It's an illusion, and you won't be able to notice. It'll be in a page protector. Now I'm ready to put my photo on the page. And I want it pretty even with my other photos, so it just flows across the page. There. All right, so I really like how this looks, and I really feel like to improve it, I could make these fatter or make these thinner and just make it flow. But it'll be in a book, and it won't be right next to each other anyway. You know, it'll be like there'll be a gap between them. It'll look great. So it'll be intentional. It's like I did it on purpose. Now I want another stripe up here. And I don't know why, but I chose yellow. And I think it's because it was the least intrusive. Like I really want it to be kind of a part of the layout, but I don't want it to be like the color, right? Okay, now let's get out our polka dots. So I have a lot of different ones, and I just cut them different sizes, random. This photo is going to go here, and I'm not exactly sure whether I'll make it straight or curved. This is a very common kind of layout, you know, where it just flows across the page, and then you can decorate above and below. I really considered using that black and white paper with this idea, but I loved it on the white. And, you know, that photo of that card was my inspiration. And so I really want to stick with that white background. I know, right? Splatters. Oh, let's see. Heather, so cute with the yellow thing. So I have giant, these are pretty big circles. These are 3-inch circles. And I don't really want there to be a particular color to this layout. Like I want it to be a mix of all of the different colors. And some of them I want maybe even going off the page or over the page. So I could do something like that and then trim it and have it on both pages. I mean, that's an idea. So, and then I added, you know, I wanted this blueberry bushel on here too. So I'm just kind of doing like 3 points, and I'm just going to kind of I'm going to add some colors, to see if I can, you know, keep it going. Now in her card, her dots do not touch. They are just random over the page. They don't touch. But when I visualized this in my head, I pictured them tucked, you know, and then maybe some of them even popped up just to make it more dimensional. I don't know if that will work or not. I don't know. And then some of the layouts or some of the circles feel big. They just feel a little large. And so it's just a thought. I could grab my paper punch and, you know, make them a little different size. Like I just used my dies that I have, and I thought, I really could cut these down a little bit, or maybe not have so much of it showing. If you have an idea, tell me on my feed here what you think. I really loved the addition of this purple, and it's hard to figure out where to put it. It feels like it needs to be down here. Maybe I can put like more of do a balance kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not sure I need all of this. I feel like I do need the yellow over here though. And see, it's a little big. Let me grab my paper punches and see what I can do with that. I'm not sure what size to grab. I feel like I just need some that are a little smaller. So let me scooch that in there a little bit. This is like a 1.5 inch punch there. And then that makes my circle a little smaller, a little more scale or something. I don't know. Okay, what do you think? Is that good? Does it need to be more down the side? Like spread these out and make it. I think it's a lot of color, that's for sure, but I do like it. I have a few more, let's see. I have a few more little tiny dots I thought might scatter over here with a title. And then, okay, so I started looking for a title, and then the issue was what color and how big. And I started typing goofy for like goofy faces, silly, being silly, I don't know. I just started messing around with different titles, and you know, it was harder than I thought it would be to figure out a title. And so I went ahead and got into my stamps, and my stamps, I have several that would work. Of course I do, because they're weird, right? I don't know. I'm not sure about this. Anyway, I found this one, which is really funny. This is a silly saying sentiment that's, of course, retired from, close to my heart. I love you more than grilled cheese. I thought that would work. You're weird, kind of like me. And I thought, oh, that's too perfect for this page. And then I started looking at some of my other titles. This is a Stamp of Life title that says Life is Good. And I really like the size of it. I like how bold the font is, and I really think it works well. And so I stamped it in a lot of different colors, and I decided that this one is the winner. And so I like how that looks. Ah, that's awesome. I just love it. So this is kind of here where I am messing around still, trying to figure out what I want to do with this. This isn't quite right. And then I'm going to just glue it all together. Tell me what you think. Okay, feedback. I know it's retro, right? It reminds me of like when I was in grade school, like 6th or 7th grade, I swear I had a pair of roller skates that were like, had this color of stripe on them. I swear this was like a 70s thing. And I thought if I would have added that crushed curry color instead, it would even be more retro looking. And wouldn't this be a blast for, see, look at that. It would really, it really would, like, add that little bit of gold would totally throw it over into the 70s. But you like this, you like the polka dots separated better? Let's see what that looks like. Because I actually, the card that she made really is, it is separated. I could make that one cross over. I don't want it to look like or you think this one looks better separated over here, like it's two clumps. It's an interesting thing to play with, and I don't know. I kind of like this not touching kind of idea. I just need to play around a little bit, don't I? I could put that under. I was going to put it over, and then I realized it would be right on top of her face. That would be bad. Oh, sorry, Jen, you aren't important. What the heck? All right. What do you think? That gives it a totally different look. I'm not sure which way to go. Yeah, over here. I getcha. Like, go ahead and clump them together, but separate the clumps. I get it. Like this. All right. Yeah. Okay, I can do this. I can make this happen. And I really do, I really do like this. You guys, this is fun. This is a fun layout. Now, picture you are making cards or something, and you make a whole bunch of these circles, and then now you have cards. Where did that photo go? Hold on a minute. I have a whole bunch of these circles. Now, these circles are a lot smaller. If I had a card on me, I would measure, but I could do my measuring trick. Okay, so that is that's a 4 1/4 inch card. Fold it in half again. So we have an approximately, every line is approximately an inch, right? So from here to here, so these are 1 inch circles, just under 1 inch, about right at 1 inch. And then this circle right here would be about 1.5 inches. And then this wider circle here, oh, this is 1 1/4 inches, this is 1.5 inches. This one right here is 1 3/4 inches. Look at me go. The biggest circle is it's a little hard to tell. It's just over 2 inches, like maybe 2 1/4 right there. I think that's amazing. I mean, more circles on this page. Should I just move some of them? Do I need a bigger one? A different color? I have pink. I think I need a bigger one if I... I don't know. I don't like them as clumpy as they are right now. So I'm going to play with this a little bit, and I'm going to come up with something that I love. I like this bigger one down here. And I like that there's a let's do the triangle thing. We have a triangle of the green, and then there's something over here. And then we have a triangle, we have 1, 2 of the, what color is that? Berry Burst. We have 2 of the Berry Burst. I have more Berry Burst though that I could totally put over here. I could use my punch and make it smaller. And then I even played with this, like, you know, it's kind of fun to have like the funky, you know, look at how cool, you know, you've seen those funky circles that are like part circles, and then they have a circle in the middle. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where they have like the fun elements like that. I'm telling you, I could do this all day. I could play with this all day. But do you like the layout in general? It's kind of a fun thing. I like having an odd number, but right now I have 4. I have clumps of 4, which is weird. So let's see. Turquoise, turquoise, turquoise. I'm having a lot of fun with this. You guys are probably, I could take the orange away altogether. By taking the orange away, it takes away the retro vibe a little bit. And I like the orange. So I need it. I need it. Anyway, so there you go. This is what I've got. And this is what I'm going to mess around with this just a little bit more, but not much. And I kind of like having a green or something over here. So I'm going to play a little bit more, and I'll take a photo and I'll put it on my group page and show you what I end up with. And then you guys can weigh in with what you think. Oh, the other thing that she did that is hard to see in the photo. She has got some bling. See that right there and right there? It looks like water drops right there. It's hard to tell, but when I looked at the original card, it was truly like clear drops. It wasn't like iridescent. But I pulled out my bling to see what I had, and this is the new strawberry slush colors, and they have just a tiny bit of gold in the middle, and I was like, well, that could work. I have the iridescent dots, which are kind of cool because they take on a bit of the colors they're next to, and so you could see that those might look really cool around. The other thing I have is this one, and I think this went with the Mediterranean set suite with the lemons. It had the blue and the yellow, and then it has these kind of clear dots, and I think this is the winner. I think the clear dots looks like water drops, and I'm definitely going to add those clear ones to the page in various places. It's hard to envision with the blue and the yellow on there, but kind of get the idea. So it's a fun layout. It's something totally different. And I think that it's nice because I have such goofy pictures that I'm doing anyway here. It's just a fun page to look at. So I think no matter what I end up doing with these circles, it is going to look really, really cool. So I might make that one a little smaller, this one. So it's like it's too matchy. Too matchy. I punched a ton of circles, and so it really does make it fun. Okay, that's what I have today. So don't forget that the May 2nd and 3rd are double point rewards. And on May 3rd, which is Friday, they're going to go live with that scrapbooking workshop. And please, please pop in. They need as many people supporting them as possible so that they will keep doing it, because I would love to see them do that. I mean, Sarah does that with cards already, and they have some other people who pop on with artwork once in a while, but it's almost always a kit or a card or something. I would love to see them on a little more with scrapbooking, so that way we can, you know, just see. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys try this. And Stephanie accidentally bought this twice. This one, this dotted circles 3D embossing folder, and she is gifting it to our group and told me that I could use it for a drawing, and I think that's super generous, and thank you so much for doing that. Anybody who leaves a message on my Facebook group page right now while I'm live or in a replay, then you will be in the drawing for this. I just think that is sweet as can be, and it'll be amazing to win this. Thank you, Stephanie. That is really nice. And I mean, I would be, usually when stuff like that happens, I'm like, I'll just buy it from you and you can use that money for something else, whatever. Because we all do that. And I have ways of selling things or doing Daisy Lane with it or whatever. But this is above and beyond. So if you want to be in a drawing for a free embossing folder, the dotted circles that we used with this page, then please leave comments on my Facebook group. Okay, 45 minutes, and I'm basically done, other than my weird OCD-ness trying to balance out colors and things. I don't know how long that will take me, but I promise you I will post a photo of this layout. And I can't decide about the open circles. What do you think? Yes? No? Yes? No? I don't know. But they're kind of fun. They're kind of funky. I don't know. Just gotta decide what I'm gonna do here. I just don't know. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will probably not be live on Friday unless some inspiration hits me and I'm like dying to show you something, because I really want you to spend your online crafty time with the scrapbooking presentation with Stampin' Up, and that'll be at 2, so that'd be perfect. Be perfect. Have a fun scrapbooking weekend. I hope you're making crafts, doing something great. Bye-bye, everybody.